Hello, my friends. Here we go again with Donald Trump spitting on the faces of. This time, he spit on the faces of Puerto Ricans, my people. I give you a really quick, brief history of who we are. Puerto Ricans. We are Puerto Rican people. We are a mix of three ethnicities: European, mostly from the Iberic Peninsula, either Spaniard, Portuguese, Canary Island, which is not European. It's off the coast of Africa, but Canary Islands were ruled by Europeans for a long time. And we also have Native American blood. Now, the Native American tribe that we belong to is the Arawak Nation. Arawak Native Americans inhabited the Caribbean, mainly the big Caribbean islands, Puerto Rico, which was called Boriquen. That's why we call each other Boricua, because of our Native American name for our island, which was, and it still is, Boriquen. They call it also Borinquen, thus the name Boricua. And the Arawak Nation, the Native Americans from the Arawak tribe, also inhabited Cuba, which is a Native American Arawak term, just like that, Cuba. And also the Dominican Republic, which originally, the Dominican Republic, the Native American name, the Arawak Native American tribe name, or Arawak language name for Dominican Republic and Haiti, was Ajiti. Ajiti. That's where the name Haiti comes from. Originally, the whole island was Haiti. So, Ajiti in the Arawak language is the name of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. And then we also inhabited the Bahamas. And the original name for the Bahamas was the Lucayas. So the tribe that was the Arawak sub-tribe or sub-name for the people in the Bahamas, whose original name was Lucayas, were the Lucayos. That's what they called it, which is where Cristobal Colon, wrongfully translated into Christopher Columbus, first landed in the American continent. Okay, now the Arawak people, I heard what that person said. They're saying if I heard about the lawyer, what the Dominican lawyer said about us. I don't pay attention to what ignorant people say and hateful people say about Puerto Rico unless it actually affects us. But anyways, the name of the tribes, the Arawak tribes, which are the Arawak Nation, the names of the tribes, the ones in the Caribbean were called Taínos and Lucayos. Also, we inhabited Bimini. Bimini is the Native American name for Florida, what is today considered Florida. Florida is not pronounced Florida, it's pronounced Florida, which means flowery. It's the name the Spaniards gave the peninsula of Florida, today's Florida. The original name, the Arawak name for Florida is Bimini. And this was our ancestral land. I live in Florida now. We had three tribes here. And we have three, it's like having three subdivisions of the tribe. The Timucuan, the Tequesta. Actually, there are four. Tequesta, Timucuan, Jaega, and Ais. The Jaega and the Ais inhabited the east coast from Palm Bay and Brevard County all the way to Palm Beach. It's still, the Indian River is still named Indian River because of my ancestors, the Arawak Ais. And they wanted to name it the Ais River, but the white people down there in Brevard did not want that. the white people that rule. No, I'm not saying I'm talking about all white people. I'm talking of the racist white people, because most of the white people in this country are not racist. You know, so just that's the background that I'm giving you about Puerto Ricans, so that you know that we're not some people that out there on an island like Trump wants to say. We have blood. Our ancestors have been inhabiting the mainland American, North American continent for thousands of years. We are Americans. We're Americans before there were Europeans here in the Americas. So here comes Donald Trump saying, after being criticized by the mayor of San Juan, that Puerto Ricans, he's suggesting that Puerto Ricans are lazy, that it's everything that's happening is our own fault. He goes on to say that he said before and continues to mention that continually mentioning the debt, and trying to suggest that we're going to have to work something out to see how we're going to pay. He has yet to authorize an emergency fund for Puerto Rico, like he did for Florida, for Texas, for any other mainland United States citizens. So for him to say that he's doing a great job, it's an insult. And to say and to suggest that we're lazy. Let me tell you what my family's doing. My family are out there in a creek washing right now. I'm speaking right now. They're on a creek washing their clothes by hand so they can have clean clothes. They're making hours and hours. They're standing hours and hours in lines to get water sometimes. My friends and family, so they can get a couple of 6 little bottles of water. Imagine you having to go through that. You know why that's happening? Because FEMA has not authorized the release of thousands of containers to be transported. That's why they say, oh, the Puerto Rican people, the truck drivers are striking. That's not true. They're actually been camping out in front of FEMA's, they control it. FEMA's the one who controls all that aid, whatever's coming in, and they're not releasing it to the truck drivers. You know what they did? They're in cahoots with the main government, the Rosselló, the governor. His representative took all those independent truck drivers and told them, listen, write your name down on this list and we're going to call you. Say, the truck driver said, are you insane? There is no cell phone reception out there. There's none of that out there. So there's no internet out there. How are you going to call us? There's no electricity. How are you going to call us? We're not going anywhere until you give us something to transport back to our towns. They're in the mountains. They've been camping in their trucks. They've been camping in their trucks. Okay? Now, you tell me, who's responsible for that? Who's responsible for that is the governor and FEMA. But the reality is that FEMA is the one who's pulling the strings. The governor of Puerto Rico cannot tell FEMA what to do. FEMA is on top as far as authority of the governor. And if they don't want to release anything, they won't release it. Now, I have a theory, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but what I think is that there's a contract, a transport exclusive contract for somebody or company, probably a company of the United States, to transport those all those containers out of the dock in Puerto Rico. There are thousands of these things full of medicine, food, people, the American people in the homeland, they have poured their heart and soul helping us out, the Puerto Ricans. Yet here's FEMA not releasing those containers. Here's the problem, and I remember vividly Dr. John, the artist, the guy, the singer from Louisiana. He sings blues and stuff. When they interviewed him after Katrina, they asked him a question about FEMA. I said, "Don't you dare say that name around here. In this town, that will get you beat up. FEMA screwed us royally. They did it to the people in Louisiana, and they're doing it to Puerto Rico. You know, FEMA is incompetent. These people need a kick in the ass. They have the nerve to ask the mayor of San Juan, Carmen Yulín, the lady who attacked and called out Donald Trump for his bullshit and his lies. And his people saying, there's this lady came out saying, oh, this is a feel-good, is this a feel-good story? Feel good for what? This is a happy story or something like that? Who the fuck? These people are delusional. You know? There are people, you know, waiting on their last gallon of diesel to burn in their hospital because FEMA won't release the transport. So I think what I think is happening is there's a company out there that they have contracted to provide the transportation, and they haven't gotten the semis out yet to Puerto Rico. That's what I think. Because what else can you tell me if they're turning people away? Those independent truckers, what the representative from the governor did, they say, listen, just go out to that empty big parking lot over there and stay there and see if somebody needs you. One of the business people in the community needs you. Are you fucking kidding me? These people they're right there. They even, you know, on camera, from national TV, they're saying, listen, you don't have to pay me. Just put diesel in my truck, hook that thing up, pay whoever you want to pay, and don't pay me nothing. Just put that container, hook it up to my semi, and let me take that water out there for those people. And they're not doing it. This is FEMA's fault. I've been following this thing closely, and this is FEMA's fault. It's FEMA. It's not the Puerto Ricans. It's not the governor. They're above in authority to us. And they need to take care of business and take those containers out to the Puerto Rican people. Now, luckily now, and finally, 9 days later, you know, Trump decided to send the military. And when they could have been on this shit from day one. But he was too busy tweeting, you know, and you know, discriminating and insulting black athletes for exercising the free speech, you know, because he's a racist asshole. You know, and the same thing that's happening in Puerto Rico. If you notice, that anywhere there's a problem, a catastrophe, a humanitarian crisis, something like that, and it happens to be black, there's a disaster. They still haven't cleaned up Flint's water. Why? Because Flint is it's a predominantly black city. They fucked up Louisiana and Baton Rouge and in New Orleans. Why? Because New Orleans is predominantly black. They don't give a shit. You know, now we got a bunch of my people, brown people in Puerto Rico. You know, and on top of it, add insult to injury, now that this asshole is blaming us. What a piece of shit, you know? So FEMA needs to get their shit together. That's what needs to happen, and they need to impeach this asshole.